All right, everyone. If you could do us the favor again of giving us a like and a retweet, absolutely massive help. We are going to be talking today about the NFT space, what's coming up in the future, what we think. I'd really appreciate if anyone wants to come up and speak with us on this subject. More than happy to have you up on the stage. Before we get into all that, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'd also like to just give us a little shill. So we're Galactica Network. We are an on-chain nation state. We're trying to build something in parallel for you, so that when we see nation states and their governance systems, the institutions that we all live under, failing every day, then that's a real shame. So we're building parallel social institutions, so you can become a citizen to an on-chain nation state. You can have all the rights and privileges of a real citizen on-chain. First citizenship to a protocol in history, I think, a genuine one at least. And we're happy to provide these things for you and make these things available to just everyone in the world. We've just got one request I'm going to bring up. And Hoss, how are you doing this week, my friend?
I'm doing real well, actually. It's good vibes. I've been talking to a lot of people behind the scenes, whether they're building, they actually devs or just community people or just like straight OGs. I've been in conversations with every single realm or part of this space, and everyone's kind of on the same page, and it's exciting. That's all I could say. Like, I think the bear market was awesome for builders and building things, and not that people aren't still building things, but there's just no other place like in real life anywhere where there's so much innovation and just the unknown and uncertainty like this space offers, and everything's around the corner, when it comes to regulation or more regulation or actually some regulation and clarity. It seems like it's going to be here sooner rather than later, which it's kind of a good thing. It brings in all the boomers and the people that have all the money, that they'll feel more comfortable with putting, a couple percent into Bitcoin, a couple into this, a couple into that. And that starts to add up. And then it gives more reputation, like we like to say here, more reputation within this space. Although, all the OGs and people have been in here for at least a few years realize like this is the space to be in, and none of it's financial advice or whatever, but just exciting, man. Like, it's just like we went through so much crap for so long, and like nothing was good, right? Like every single little good that would happen, there would be something that would overshadow it. And generally, it was just some human that was acting in bad intentions, But it just seems like we're back now. That now, from an investor standpoint, which I'm not giving investing advice, but there has to be some sort of pullback eventually, because the markets have been really well for a while, and whether people want to believe it or not, the American economy kind of controls most of it. And tax season's coming up, in April, so I would expect probably at some pullback at some point, whether that's in Q1 or whatever. I think it's going to happen. So, don't be over leveraged. I never agree with people being over leveraged or anything like that. But as for like long term view and thinking like the market's heading back to where it could be, I feel pretty comfortable saying it is. So that's just kind of my vibes. It's always good vibes with that. So.
And there you have it, folks. Cosmos Hoss with some excellent financial. No, wait, no, sorry, that's wrong. Right, we need to do a disclaimer. We need to do a disclaimer right now, Hoss. So before we start, guys, it's very important to remember that I myself, any team members on the panel, we are your guides to navigating the cipher state, but we are not your financial advisors. Our guest opinions are their own, and nothing in this space constitutes financial or investment advice, even if it comes from Cosmos Hoss. So there you go. Welcome, everyone. Again, if you're on the listed panel, please give us a like and a retweet. We've got another person on the speaker panel today. How are you doing, Trigs?
Doing great. Glad to be here again. It's always exciting to get up and be a part of the conversation. I'm looking forward to what we got to talk about today. It's an interesting topic to me. I'm not. I have to say, like, NFTs is the one part of this ecosystem that I've paid the least amount of attention to, and not because I don't think it's interesting, but because it's like overwhelming and I'm like hyper focused on more of like the reputational and identity components and like the structures behind it. I like to understand the foundation of what I'm getting involved in, and I have a hard time like expanding out beyond that until I feel like I'm fully grasping it. And so like NFTs have just been washing over me. You can see in my profile, like I don't even have an NFT as my profile picture. It's still some like image that I made like 20 years ago when I was playing World of Warcraft, and it's been the same thing ever since.
I was going to say
Yeah.
you look beautiful, Trigs, in that picture. That's a
But
beautiful profile.
you're not in this space unless you have a PFP as your NFT, right? Like
Right. I know. I
it's
feel
just
like I'm
how it
really
is.
missing out.
You are, man. And honestly, though, like just from a like a vibe perspective and standpoint, and just kind of like I must visualize or like think about an NFT for the most part right now in its current construction is more of just like a membership. And some of them are garbage, like any membership. Like there's garbage memberships out there. You become a member of something, and you're like, I don't like this anymore. But I don't invest in NFTs from like making money perspective. It's more about getting in part of these different groups and then being able to pick people's brains and meet new people. It's almost like a social gathering event for me. And I'm not saying that's what people need to use it as, but I find some of the groups that I've been into, like regardless of how much I paid for that particular NFT, I think the knowledge and connections that I've got in return were clearly better than my ROI on that's amazing. And like right now, don't know if it's going to keep going up, but like the NFT that I'm using is called a Mad Lads, which is like the blue chip of all blue chips on Solana. And when I bought it compared to what it is now, like if I wanted to sell it, I could make a ton of money, but I'm just not. Like I just don't really sell NFTs because I think like having it maybe in a couple of years from now, if it's at some astronomical amount, then maybe I might consider selling it. But yeah, and I think we're just touching like the dirt of what an NFT can potentially be. I think there's just so many use cases, and like what we're doing, what these guys are doing over here at Galactica, and there's other teams doing different things with NFTs, not just like reputation, but whether that's like you need like there's a team called Serenity Show. We've had them on the space before a couple times. They're doing some cool things. Like it's like for inheritances and like having like a strong. They call it the strong box. So like if something happened to you or you lost everything after, if you had it set for like say 90 days, the smart contract would take whatever's in that strong box, call it a vault, if you will, and do whatever sort of smart contract action you want, like hey, send all this information that's in here to this wallet. And then for the other person on the other end to get access to that wallet, they would need like 2 out of the 3 NFTs to gain access, so to speak. So it's like kind of cool different things that you could do, because that's kind of what happens if something happens to you? Does your loved one actually even know how to do any of this shit in crypto? Like, are they just going to be beat? Like, all this money or funds or data or whatever you have in crypto, like, is anyone else going to be able to get to it? And that's like, think
That's
about how
major,
many
man.
billion,
That's
you know what I
major.
mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I actually
billions and
saw the
billions of
space.
dollars.
I saw your
Yeah.
space with Serenity Shield. I was like, I need to join this thing, but I just don't have the damn time because it looked like a really interesting topic, like the social recovery kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's super useful because like shit happens, man. People like they'll lose their laptop or wherever they have their stuff at. Maybe they lose their freaking ledgers or hardware wallets or their seed phrases. God forbid if something happens to their home or like, whatever. So it's like, and or just worst case scenario, someone passes away, and then like, does your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other, like, are they screwed because maybe they're not like as degen as we are. They don't even know how to do any of this stuff. But it's like, well, someone needs to get the funds, and it's kind of like a way to like hedge your bets. Like it's like a way to hedge your security and stuff. So it's like that's just like a cool little use case. It's just like cool to see. NFTs can be so much more in the future, and it's exciting. But anyways, go ahead, man. I don't want to hold everyone up.
No, man, it's cool. We love you, man. We love you. Don't worry. So I think what we'll do is we'll get comfortable. We'll get very comfortable. And I'd very much like everyone in the listener panel, please give us a like and a retweet. We've got a few people in here. I'd love to see the same amount of likes and retweets. If you have a comment, please add it as a comment below. And if you want to request to speak, you are welcome on the speaker panel. Happy to have a nice chat with you. Check the pinned tweet. You can join our Cypherstick campaign, and you can earn citizenship to the very first on-chain nation state, Galactica.com. You can earn your universal basic income for social contributions without having to pay a dime. Just make sure you put the effort in, and you'll get your rewards out. Okay, guys. So I just want to do a quick news section. I believe we have another request to speak. Happy to check you out. You're more than welcome up, Trev. And we will get going with the news. Okay. Do you want some kind of some like fancy news section where we go really quick and then dive into the topic? I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I like that approach, but just kind of and the voice is soothing. It must lure me to sleep, but it keeps me entertained at the same time too. It's like real show. Go ahead.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. That's what I want to do. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Global policymakers are still pushing CBDCs despite their failures. This is the title of an article by Nicholas Anthony of Cointelegraph, and he states that CBDCs are being pushed despite the risks and failures of the current paradigm. So he said that despite global efforts, CBDCs have shown little success in countries like Bahamas, China, and Jamaica. In Thailand, CBDC implementation has faced legal and funding challenges. Nigeria's CBDC has led to a severe cash shortage and social unrest. And the overall CBDC experience has been criticized as a waste of government resources and a means of government control. I feel like I like this Nicholas Anthony guy. I must get in touch. That's not very newsy, is it? Anyway, JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon has said that I would shut crypto down if I had the chance and power to. He is apparently great big friends with Elizabeth Warren, and they found some common ground in their criticism of cryptocurrencies. Warren has cited a report indicating that $20 billion in illicit crypto transactions occurred last year, funding various criminal activities. Didn't mention that that's an incredibly small amount compared to that going on in the traditional financial world, but that's fine. And A16Z has released a brand new article, their 2024 rundown of what they're excited about in that coming year. So they're excited about the decentralization era, in which we've got improved governance, DAOs, everything that Galactica is doing, just so you're aware. User experience in crypto, they're basically really touting the abstracted wallets narrative. Absolutely fantastic. It's a good way to get people on board who have nothing to do with crypto. Modularity in the tech stack, AI and blockchain integration. They even mentioned artificial identities, again something which Galactica is aiming to help with. The evolution of play to earn gaming. I'm not a massive, I don't actually have any much clue about that one, so I'd have to ask Hoss. AI and game making, formal verification in software development, NFTs, branding, and ZK snarks as a technical paradigm. Again, something that Galactica is leaning heavily on. And that is your news, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope there wasn't too much sarcasm in there for you.
And you hit us with the heat right there. I like that. So, are you getting right into the topics? Because it's so hard for me to hold back, but I think it's so laughable what Mr. JP Morgan has to say. You know what I mean? Like,
go on, hit us with it. Hit us with it, please.
Yeah, exactly. So the big four, because they're very shameless and scammy and scummy, we'll use those as words to describe their behavior. They've been fined over $180 billion for their crap that they've done. So it's kind of funny and laughable that, first of all, I don't even know why that guy's even allowed to have a say at like actual Senate hearings and things with the government, man. I get why, because it's just like how they act and operate. But you would think someone that has very low character and has been fined so much money, like literally been fined more than like the equivalent of like Ethereum's whole market cap, and like it's just insane. And then this dude's gonna sit here and have like the brass to sit here and say about, like, if he was up to him. Well, first off, it's not up to you, dickhead. And second of all, no one cares about your point of view because you're just one of those guys, right? Like, you can just look at new banks that are created since like the 1990s, right? There's like none. They just keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking by choice and by default, and that's creating this monopolistic lifestyle that we have. And it's scary, right? Like, there needs to be crypto because there's no accountability. Like, these banks, oh, they're too big to fail. Like, well, how many times have I heard that as an American over the last like basically over the last decade, really, since 2008? It's like, oh, they're too big to fail. But then you have like legitimate banks, like small mom and pop banks that, like, honestly, they're not scammy and scummy. Like, they want the best for you. and then they don't insure them. It's like, well, obviously, like if you have some money, right? Like as an American, the FDIC, I think it's 225. Can't quote me. I should know this off by heart. Maybe say it's 250. I'm not sure. Anyways, they'll insure that up to that, like no matter what. And then these small banks, they just like, no, no, we're not going to do that for you. So then, like, if you have money, it's kind of scary just to throw in like a quarter million into this bank account and then it's not insured. So they're forcing you by action just to like go throw your money into these JP Morgans and you know Wells Fargo and Citigroup and all this, and because it's just like they have this monopoly on it, and of course those people they don't it's competition to them. Why do they want any competition, right? Like it's how hard it is to even become a bank in America now. It's like it's insane. And yeah, man, like it's really frustrating. It's embarrassing. Like I think of the people in the past, they would be just super embarrassed of like the trajectory of all this crap. And they honestly, I think people back in the day, if they understood what crypto stood for, like the founding fathers, they would be all for it, man. Like I think the founding fathers of America would be like all for crypto. So yeah, it's a shame, but I think it's laughable too when they start to say, well, for drug activity and money laundering. Like, bro, like, I mean, how long has the cartels and how long is the mafia and how long have people been running books and gambling and drugs and sex and prohibition and all this other shit, dude? Like forever. And all of a sudden, that's like crypto's bad, right? Like, yeah, can it be used for some bad activities? Absolutely, everything can, but there's nowhere near a resemblance of how much corrupt the United States dollar is, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, are boomers that stupid that they think like this is like legitimate qualms with this person or what? I don't know. My
Hey,
rant's
don't
over.
diss boomers. I'm nearly a boomer.
In this space, I'm a boomer for sure. I'm definitely a boomer in this space, but yeah, not in real life, outside of crypto.
What do you
Yeah, I think
reckon,
you hit a
Trigs?
I think you hit a really important point there, Haas, in that like crime has been using the U.S. dollar as its primary form of currency since the U.S. dollar was formed. Like there's massive amounts of physical U.S. currency that are all over the world being used as the transaction of choice. And crypto is the only thing that's challenged that. And the reason why they target that is because it's such an easy target to put numbers on, because it's really hard to nail down how much the US dollar is used to fund crime because it's so ambiguous. But with crypto, it's actually like a lot easier to track and trace it. And so they can use those numbers to try to, people aren't used to being able to get that kind of information. And that's one of the features of blockchain that, is being kind of misconstrued because they don't understand, or maybe they do, but they're intentionally misrepresenting, the situation.
I couldn't agree more, Trigs. I mean, if they accepted blockchain and crypto as the superior financial system that it is, they wouldn't have any control, and they certainly wouldn't be able to do any of the financial hijinks that they want to do with our tax dollars and tax euros and whatever
Yeah,
at their own will.
like think about it. If you were going to go purchase some illegal, illicit things like drugs or whatever, are you going to go over to this person's house and be like, "Hey, man, I'm going to send you some Bitcoin"? They're going to laugh at you. They're going to want dollars, dude. Like, they're going to want straight paper, like, or some sort of other thing that you can give to them. But like, it just makes it. It's so funny when they say shit like this, dude. I don't know any drug dealer that's like openly accepting Bitcoin or like Ethereum or something. Like, hey, yeah, come over here. You get your goods. I'll give me one ETH for that. Like, no, I mean, maybe there's someone forward thinking in the drug game. I don't know, but
That'd be
like for the
really
most part,
dangerous, though. Like, Hoss, that would
yeah,
be super
exactly.
dangerous because I mean, pseudonymity is not private. Like, it's not secret. So
Yeah,
the
exactly.
second that anyone links your blockchain account to like a real world identity as a drug dealer, you're pretty messed up.
Yeah, so it's just like it's so moot, and it's a shame because unless I think I don't want to say majority of the populace, but for sure that like, and I hate to pick on boomers because I feel like most of them are the only ones that still watch this mainstream media crap, and they don't think outside the box and like whatever the mainstream media tells them is like it has to be true. There's no gray areas or like this is legitimate. And maybe back in the day it kind of was, but like I don't know. I see most of it. I just think it's funny. It's like, dude, this is like, did people fall for this? Like, I don't know. Like, did they not know that? Miami was built like on cocaine and like where people giving people Bitcoin back in the 70s and stuff. Like I just don't know where their logic is. And like you're really wasting people's time if you're in Congress and the Senate and like that's literally what you're talking about. Again, can it be used somehow in some way like a shady move? Yeah, potentially, but I mean, it's just crazy to think like there would be so much less crime. Let's just use hypotheticals. I'm going to go outside the box. Say there was no dollars, like everything was like the world was backed by Bitcoin, right? Like, what would really be the point of war? Like, you can't like invade another country and steal their Bitcoin. Maybe some of their resources, like if they have like gas or natural resources, maybe. But like, you're not going to go over there and steal their like gold, for example. That was a big thing. People would go invade countries to take their gold, and they're still gold. I'm not gonna lie, but like, let's just say gold didn't exist and like everything was backed based off of like Bitcoin. Why would there ever be any war? Like, what's the point of war? There's nothing that you can take from it. Like, am I going to go invade a country and be like, "Give me all your Bitcoin"? Like, even if you did, like, how are you going to get it unless you actually know the person's seed phrase? I mean, I don't. I just. It's just so. It's so. I don't know, man. I get kind of sick to my stomach, as you could tell how I'm ranting and raving over this. It's just like there has to be people that actually believe this crap, and it's just like, wow, man, you're so delusional.
Hoss, you say you're thinking outside the box. I don't think I've ever seen you in the box. So that's
Nah.
cool, dude. Don't worry. And I want to get a thumbs up, thumbs down from everyone in the speaker panel and on the listeners. Thumbs up if you think that Jamie Dimon and Senator Elizabeth Warren should I don't know, maybe resign their commissions as whatever kind of politicians they are.
So thumbs up if they should just like piss off.
Yeah. I guess let's give it a thumbs up if they should disappear.
Yeah, that's
Stop
two thumbs up.
wasting tax money.
They're wasting taxpayer money, but they're also, I mean, in a sense, they're forcing people that are very brilliant, especially as an American, to want to just relocate and leave. And why would you want, like, as a country, why would you want your brightest men and women to want to leave your country because you're just dicking around and not like open your arms up and saying, hey, like we believe in this innovation and there's really no other growth sector in the world, but like let's just like make you leave and renounce your citizenship. It makes zero
Oh,
sense. Like it should be
the brain
the
drain.
opposite.
Yeah, the brain drain
Yeah.
is absolutely insane. Really is. Oh, look, guys,
Just
I want
take
to
a
get
note from Argentina, just take a note from Argentina.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, look, guys, I want to get onto the main crux of this of the show. We've got NFT narratives for the new cycle in the title, so I'd like to respect the title and people's time. That was amazing on the news. I'd just like to get everyone in the listener panel, if you can jump down to the bottom right-hand corner of this space, give us a like and a retweet if you like what you're hearing. We try and be as educational as possible. We try not to give financial advice, except for Hoss. He likes to give financial advice, but that's just his thing. But yeah, we would love to get on to the NFTs, see what we can figure out in this very very large part of our space, but a very misunderstood part of our space. I think one of the real problems with NFTs is that people don't really know which aspect of an NFT they're discussing when they're starting talking about these things. I mean, an NFT is just the underlying technology, and what I see it as is digital ownership. What are you owning? That's the question, isn't it? So I'm going to ask a question to the panel, guys. Again, I'll just put out this offer right now. Again, if you would like to come up and discuss with us, you are more than welcome. Just request to speak. We don't bite. It's a good conversation, very very casual. So please just request to speak if you want to. So my question is, guys. Got a request straight away. Trev, did we not get you up before? Oh, well, hopefully we can get you up this time. So the question is, guys. In fact, you know what? We've got Trev up on the stage. I'd love to just get an intro. How are you, man?
What's up?
Not much, man. It's good to have you up.
Yeah, I figured I'd come and say hello. Getting more kind of re-engaged space-wise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I actually just talked to one of your guys the other day. One of the Galactica guys. And then Haas. Always a pleasure. Trigs. The rest of you as well. Are we getting into the NFT stuff now?
We're getting into the NFT stuff. Okay, guys. So what
Sure.
we'll do is I'm just going to ask a question, and we'll run it around the panel. So we'll start with you, Trev. Why not? May as well put you on the spot. What is your one killer NFT narrative for 24-25, the year 2024-2025?
I think it has to start with gaming. Gaming and entertainment has kind of led every single kind of like inflection point in innovation that we've had, right? We have video games. We needed faster, bigger bandwidth, faster speeds, better graphics, better processors now on hardware, right? So with blockchain, it's something that I think we already understand. It's not really by leaps and bounds um, as maybe it has been in the past, except for now we have the element of ownership, which is really, really important, right? Um, and the reason why gaming is probably going to be leading this cycle, I think, in terms of not just mass adoption, but also engagement, and uh, it's because people understand Steam, right? They understand skins. What are NFTs in a lot of these games? A lot of them are skins. Ownership of an avatar, elements of an avatar, you know, what have you, in-game resources. People understand that. Games already have these uh, digital things that you own and transact with. Um, and it's I think it kind of starts with that. I think the future is almost 100% abstraction. That's not just wallet abstraction. That's not just chain abstraction. It's also all of the tech kind of abstraction. That it has to be as easier than the Web2 experience as it is. Um, we really won't be able to get there if we don't start building that way. And there's some games that are coming out this way, right? There's Pirate Nation on Arbitrum. It's the Farmville guys. And Haas, I talked to you a little bit to you about this on I think one of your spaces on Saturdays. That like Farmville was one of the first games in the App Store. It was really stupid. We all played it, but it was maybe for the first time that I've seen like every person of every age bracket playing the same game. It was mothers, fathers, grandparents, kids, and all you did was water some fucking plants, and farm some shit, you know. So, um, Pirate Nation is actually kind of like that. So it looks and feels kind of that way, um, and it doesn't feel like blockchain. So I think we're headed in the right direction. They have more work to do, but like you'll see games like that where it's just a game. Except you
Yeah, I
own it.
mean, like the thing about gaming, just outside of even crypto, just as a whole, is they're really. It doesn't matter if you're in a recession or if the economy's booming. Like people buy games, they play games. Like they've been doing that forever. I mean, I was lucky that I grew up in an era where I basically got to play every video game console ever. I started off with Atari. I'm a little bit younger than Atari, but you would get it still. And then, like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all the way up through, and how much money, like if my parents, we didn't have much, but they would spoil you for Christmas or something. And imagine all those years they took that money, instead of buying those consoles, they were buying like Microsoft stock or something. Like how much money that'd be worth. But the point of the little thing here is that people are going to buy and they're going to spend, and like we use Fortnite for an example, and one of the biggest, I'm going to put you on mute. uh Fortnite, for example, pretty much everyone on planet Earth knows what Fortnite is, whether they play it or not, or their kids or grandchildren or someone they know has played Fortnite. If the game is free, it's a free game. Like you never, not one time, ever have to spend $1 on that game, and you can participate in the game and play with your friends or whomever. But the amount of money that has been spent on that game, like I don't know how many billions and billions of dollars, but it essentially created Epic, and it made it who it is right now. There will be a game, whether that's like there's games out there, like there's a game called Illuvium that's on Epic Games. It's not fully out yet, but like that's a game where the founders created a token. The tokenomics are pretty solid, and essentially, as an owner of that actual token, you own equity in the game. So like you'll get revenue shares. So when people do buy skins or buy whatever, like that money goes back into the holders of the underlying asset. And the NFT space, like there's so many NFTs that are gamified, or you can use it in a metaverse, and you'll be able to in the future earn like weapons or skins or attachments and upgrade your NFTs. And then what's cool about it is like think about all the money that people have spent on like say Call of Duty or any game, thousands and thousands of dollars people spend sometimes, and then you can never get really anything from it. Like if you're done with the game, it's like, but there's other people that are going to play the game. Like I've spent so much money on video games, and like the skins and all the bullshit that you don't need to spend money on. It's just kind of a waste of money. And you're kind of screwed unless you're like, hey, I'll sell you my entire account. Like here it is. Like this is how much I want. And it's kind of like a sketchy proposition. And so you just get stuck with all this stuff, and people will pay. Like you unlock stuff, they'll pay you. And like what's cool about crypto is it's so easy. You're like, okay, yeah, you want my skin that was like a exclusive Christmas skin, and give me $100 for it. Like you create this like economy, and it's a win-win from everyone's perspective. And also like we find that crypto obviously provides competition to like the Steams and all that too. So as a creator of a game, you would much rather build it into like a like Ultra is like a platform. It's a crypto based platform where you can build a game and have it way cheaper than you could from Steam. And same thing with like apps. Like you build an app and it's like you're on the Apple eyes and you just get eye gouged. They want 30% instantly, and the crypto can kind of help with all this. And it's just exciting that the narrative of this. And I totally believe you and agree with you with that. Like the gaming is going to be the next thing. Like there's a couple other things too, but gaming's for sure going to be one of the narratives. Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more at all. I think gaming is absolutely huge, absolutely enormous. And I think there's going to be even more like to it than just ownership of items. I think it's going to go like at some point it's going to go absolutely crazy with the integrations with artificial intelligence and things like that. So if you can imagine like something, let's say The Sims, right? If you can imagine that every single one of your Sims inside your city, for example, was had their own crypto wallet. It was an artificial identity with their own crypto wallet. If you can imagine that kind of level of interaction with blockchain, with artificial identities, and then you can like that's a PvE game, and then you can kind of imagine the kind of interactions you could have if that was the case with something like Grand Theft Auto, where like every single person you see on the street is an actual its own identity with its own belongings, its own history, its own reputation, its own everything that it's done within that particular metaverse experience that is Grand Theft Auto. It's going to get absolutely crazy at some point, I think.
Yeah, I think that you started tapping into what kind of leads into my answer to that question. I definitely agree with everyone so far that gaming is going to be huge. I mean, gaming has just become a part of our culture. Everything is, the concept of a game, and you really boil it down, is about incentive structures. And that's incentive structures are what drive everything in humanity. And so, I mean, just like understanding human nature is called game theory. And so we're in the process of like gamifying everything that we do. And I think a huge transition for Web3 is the gamification of work. And that means the incentivizing of reputation building and identity creation and working in this pseudonymous space. A digital identity is something that is very difficult to own and to maintain and build and use to be a part of the ecosystem. And so the gamification of this entire process of being a contributor who is producing value and creating content, whether you're playing a game or you're working for a protocol or you're a part of a community, that the NFTs are a representation of how you can maintain ownership of everything that you do in every engagement that you make. And I think that reputation component of it is going to have massive ramifications as it plays out. I think that the next year is probably going to be a lot of just like exploring the more fun side of gamification and how we can use NFTs to enable new functionality in just fun games. But the lessons that we learn and the technologies that we build while we go through that process are going to enable more complex, professional reputations and career opportunities, and give people ways to engage, in their livelihood as opposed to just for entertainment purposes.
Man, now you've got me thinking that if I do really, really well in like whatever it is, GTA 6 or GTA 7 or whatever it is, whenever they have like a really good like market structure or something in that game, I can use that on my CV. That would be amazing. There's also just because you brought up reputation, I may as well go with another one of my cockamamie ideas. One of the really cool things about blockchain is so that it's accessible to everyone, and that it's really interoperable at a high level. So with reputation and anti-cheating, I think that would be a major thing, would it not? If you had a reputation framework, an interoperable reputation framework for anti-cheating between like gaming companies. I'm not sure what you guys might think of that though, because that may end up in situations where people could be it would take a lot of work to get the right system that couldn't be gamed by anyone for a start. But we could also end up in situations where people could get kicked so down low that they could never dig themselves back up in a reputation context. I don't know what you think about that.
I was gonna say, I think everything
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of the same problem that we have with like any kind of scoring system, right? It's a couple of the blockchains that I've worked with and on have tinkered with uh, on-chain reputation. Um, and the thing about any kind of reputation system or like credit scoring system, for example, is that like the question is always who's building it and what kind of biases are in it. Is it driving people towards a specific kind of behavior? Because of course it is. And who's benefiting from it? And is it the people that are building it? Is it the team that's building it, right? And then it's the question of can it be gamed? So you're absolutely right. I think it's not a pipe dream. I think we'll get there. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it'd have to be tested out in a live environment, ideally. Um, yeah, right. So
I think
we don't want people to get screwed too bad. It's already crazy enough as it is out there. It's supposed to
Trev,
be a supporting tool, um, right? So
Trev,
that's all I have to say.
Trev, can you hear me? I don't think you
I
can hear
don't
me.
think I don't think he can hear you. I don't think he can hear you.
Yeah, no,
Trev, can you just drop down and then come back up? I don't think Hoss can actually hear you.
Oh,
It's
I
just
can hear
just
I
him.
his
can't hear
voice.
Haas.
Oh, you can hear him. Okay, so you
I
can't hear
can't.
Hoss.
I cannot hear Haas.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think you just need to drop down and then come back up then, Trev. But very good
Gotcha.
points all around.
Yeah, because I wanted to add to like what he was saying. I figured he couldn't hear me because I started to go and he just kept going. It's not his style. He's a good dude. So, anyways, if anything, I was trying to overpower him for a second there. But no, I think it's nearly impossible to I don't want to say mitigate, but eliminate gaming, like or gamifying things or gaming systems, right? Like I look at from a gaming a gamer perspective, you know, every single like Fortnite, for example, every single season they would come out with new updates. And so a lot of times it was to like get rid of whatever the last little meta was, they call it, right? Gamers call it meta. And it's like, okay, they fixed that, but then now you have all these people that are trying to like do exploits or find a competitive advantage, right, to like be better at the game. And then they figure it out, and if too many people figure it out, or if it's too easy, then everyone gets annoyed, and then it's like, all right, like, hey, Epic, can you fix this? And then Epic patches it. And it's just like this cat and mouse game. It's almost the same way in this space too. Like if you're going to do an airdrop, right? Like there's been so many different methodologies of like how to do an airdrop correctly, or like what's the criteria. And like Trevor hit the best there. It's like there's going to be biases. Like if I'm building the chain, maybe I do an airdrop that's different from another chain, or maybe like there have been chains like they're straight up like, look, we're doing an airdrop, and the money sadly goes to the people that have the most skin in the game. And like, am I there to say you're that's the wrong approach? Like, no, I mean that's what they wanted to do. I mean, me personally, I would start from the ground up, and the people that have done the most transactions or voted the most, and like that's all transparent. Like you can see it on chain, right? But like I don't necessarily agree with caps either. Like, hey, well, we're capping at this much. Maybe like a tier system, but like even that, then you're always going to get people that game it because like if they know an airdrop may come, they'll just create 10 wallets, and then you know what I mean. Like there's always ways around everything. Like so it's so hard to say, and even in the gaming aspect and like play to earn, like there's always going to be some sort of meta that people can find out. And I mean sometimes it's kind of the beauty of it, right? Like you get more people that are staring at the screen more, playing that game more because they're trying to find some sort of competitive advantage. And in a sense, you kind of have that in this space too. People gamify airdrops, man. Like it's just insane. Like speaking of airdrops, Jito is like a staking platform and other things on the Solana ecosystem, and they did an airdrop today. Some people made a lot of money on it. Like I seen someone say like they got like 200K worth of USD value worth of an airdrop, and maybe they did some sort of gamifying things just to get like a upper tier, and good for them. I mean, whatever. But that's the beauty of it. Like there's a way you're never going to satisfy everyone, but it's like it's an activity. So I'm kind of for it, man. Like just do as a team, do what you think is best, and you're always going to piss some people off, but it is what it is, man. But for me though, like if I was starting a company or a blockchain, I think airdrops, your ROI on an airdrop is way better than paying some marketing company or some marketer, like, hey, I'm going to pay you 10K, can you just give me a shout out? Like I think doing 10K worth of an airdrop to wallet addresses is probably going to yield you more users and stuff. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting because, like, I think it's going to be cool. There's going to be these blue chip games, like whether it's like a Illuvium or like the game that Trev was mentioning, or other games. They're going to really take off, and then people that are like playing those games are probably going to earn like tokens and shit for playing the game, which is kind of cool. Imagine you're just like playing this game and like Fortnite, instead of it V-Bucks, you get like GNet bucks, right? Like Galactica just like does an airdrop to like the people that are playing the game. I think that's cool. Like I think it's like a good way to give people more of an experience. And at the end of the day, that's all this is about anyways, is like having a better experience. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
100%, mate. Yeah, and I think like you say, reputation is tricky, and this is why we've kind of taken the approach we have, making our platform less of a you will do as we say, and more of a we've created a cipher state on top of our platform, which espouses the ideals that we hold true, like to govern the protocol. Okay, so we've created the cipher state for Galactica. And that one governs it, and that one, allows for the citizenship to the protocol and all that. But the actual underlying tech stack, that's neutral, and it's composable, and it allows people to create whatever form of community or society or just generalized group you want, and then define and completely customize what data points become your form of reputation. So, the idea is just to make it a framework rather than like a pure product in that sense. I think that's very important because, like you say, if you can game it, I'm kind of on your side, Hoss. If you can game it, you should. But you should also have like the freedom of choice to enter into whatever ecosystem you want and take advantage of whatever rules there are there, or live under whichever safe rules you can find. It's user choice. That's what matters. Trev, you had your hand up, mate. Sorry.
Oh, I just want to say sorry. I think I was talking over Haas earlier when I couldn't hear him.
I think he's okay
I think
with
that's
it.
what happened.
He likes being talked
Yeah.
over anyway. It's fine. It's
Yeah. But no, like the on-chain reputation stuff that you guys are doing, I think is interesting. And in regards to like the gamification of things, I think you can kind of look at like the initial going to the airdrop stuff, the initial airdrop mechanics. Really basic. You take a snapshot and you would just like dump tokens to people. But now people have gotten a lot smarter. Companies have gotten a lot smarter in terms of how to use those marketing bucks, as you're saying, Haas, to airdrop to people in a way that's more meaningful, that gets people engaged, rather than just like, hey, here's some tokens. So I've
Yeah,
been really
yeah. Like
liking what I've been seeing.
Yep.
Sorry,
so,
hang on, 2 seconds. Oh, sorry, Trigs, you came off mic. You wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna agree. That was kind of the point. Trev kind of spoke to what I was thinking about while all you guys were talking. In the same sense that like decentralization is a process. We're progressively decentralizing, and in the same way, like the concept of airdrops and how to utilize them as this new form of marketing and community building and all of these aspects, we're progressively working towards improving it. And every time we figure out better ways to do it, and you're exactly right. Like if it can be gamed, then it should be gamed because we need to identify how these vulnerabilities in the process that's being used can be corrected so that we can improve. Because if we want these like blockchain and crypto and tokens and NFTs to become mainstream, there has to be some level of assurance to people that they're getting what they've been promised. And if we're promising like equal access and equal opportunity, and yet certain individuals who have higher levels of technical knowledge can exploit that, then we're just creating a technical plutocracy that is replacing the plutocracy, that the oligarchy that we currently live in. It's just one system taking over another. So we have to continually push the boundaries of exposing how these systems can be gamed so that we can improve them and establish that ability to trust in that the message we're sending is actually what is being received.
Beautifully put, Triggs. Beautifully put. I want to ask another question to the panel, but first I would just like to ask everyone on the listener panel, thank you for coming for a start. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, please just give us a like and a retweet on the space. We'd really appreciate that. And the question I would like to ask the panel is, does anyone have another killer NFT narrative that they would like to talk about that maybe isn't gaming this time? Or is everyone on the gaming front for their first pick?
I think you can use NFTs as like a marketing ploy too. Um, yeah. So like I think it could be technically used for advertising in the future too. Now maybe it annoys people, but what happens if you have a company and you're like, hey, 20% off from today until the end of the year, and you airdrop it to people, and then they could use that wherever, like an actual store, or you could go to Starbucks or wherever. Like I think NFTs can be used in that fashion too, because then you have your wallet, right? You just roll up to the store, maybe it has a QR code, or like whatever, like, yeah, QR code most likely, and you just go here, boom, and then it's 20% off. Like I think that would be a good way to use NFTs as for like marketing, as an actual. It could be a Web 2 business, a Web 3 business, any business. You can do that, and then you can use it like a memberships. Once a year, you have a membership, and it could be used for just more than just like a JPEG, right? Like it could be little video clips. There's so many different things that you could do with an actual NFT. And like Solana, they can mint millions of them dirt cheap. So you could use it as like Solana's goal is to have it as like a ticketing system. Like you go to a concert or something, everyone technically could just mint an NFT right away, instantaneously, for dirt cheap. And yeah, I mean I think that would be the future of it too, because like all money always runs on advertising, right? Like you watch these commercials, you're watching any sport, whether it's American football, international football, whatever it is, and there's commercials for Coca-Cola and commercials for Pepsi and commercials for McDonald's. Like every human knows what the hell those three things are, but yet they still do it because it obviously is effective, right? So like that could be just kind of that could just be the next step of NFTs too, is these businesses are just going to start airdropping 20% off if you spend $100 or more, or whatever. Like I think that for sure could be a thing too. So
Absolutely, man. Go on, Trev, please.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of ways that NFTs can be used. I think the gaming part of it sticks out the most because of the framing of the question being, what's going to be the big NFT narrative in the next calendar year. And I think that the reason why I think gaming is the right answer for that is because of what I mentioned before about needing to like test and prove. Like gaming is a low stakes way to experiment with this new technology, and for company like non crypto companies to come on board, there's going to need to be a certain level of robustness and provenness to ensure that they can actually spend $20,000 on an NFT marketing initiative, and it's not going to just get gamed away by six tech nerds that know exactly how to get all of them, and then they're going to resell them on the market or whatever. So we really need to prove ourselves to the entire world that this technology isn't a LARP. It's actually legitimately provides this new functionality. But man, I mean, once we start getting into that stage, it's going to unlock all kinds of things. I mean, Trev mentioned credit before, and I think that is going to be a massive unlock, kind of connected to the reputation component. But like, it's going to enable whole new ways for people to build credit. The current credit system in the United States specifically is absolutely horrendous. Like, to get good credit in the United States, you actually have to be a bad financial manager. If you're really bad at managing your finances and you do things that don't make sense, you'll get better credit. And that is completely backwards. And so I think that that'll be a huge unlock, is the ability to build that credit, that reputation of credit for lending purposes that we can't do without blockchain technology.
100%.
Yeah, and
Go on, Trev, please.
Yeah, to kind of add on to that, it's really not just like a single, like just credit or just gaming. We also, I don't know if you guys are doing this, but like I think so you mentioned soulbound tokens, or somebody mentioned soulbound tokens, or maybe I just imagined it. And then you have things like digital identities, right? Anything that should be yours and bound to your account and only your account. It could be a resume. It could be your track record on GitHub. It could be any number of things. Anything that has to do with like you're the only one that should have it. Just like credit. So
yeah, that's the way. That is the way. I mean, that's it's been some form or fashion. If we're going to have any form of real social interaction or reputation or whatever social interaction it happens to be, we're going to need some form of scoring system in a digital space. That's just the way it works. So the trick is with blockchain is to make it as neutral, as unbiased as possible at the infrastructure level, and allow people to decide what is valuable to them in that regard, what data points are valuable. One question, I guess, so I think the panel has kind of come to an agreement here that maybe gaming is the biggest narrative for the new cycle. So I think everyone should probably note that one down and go and do a bit of research and see what kind of thing they can find in the gaming NFT world, what really makes sense to them. And maybe report back to us.
Yeah, so, that's good stuff. I've been a total degenerate when it comes to like looking up like random crypto plays that are gaming, gaming background. There's so many of them, and for the most part, most of their market caps are relatively below like 20 mil or whatever. So yeah, is it more risky? Absolutely. But if one of the games takes off and becomes, like a household game, dude, like it could just literally change your life. So not advising people to throw their money in it, but if you have funny money, basically, then maybe you might want to look into it, because gaming is going to be huge, man. There's so much untapped potential in gaming that people are just like, it's just all there, and crypto just creates this economy for it. But go ahead, man. I don't want to cut you off.
In fact, I appreciate your point. So we've got Native up on the panel. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. Nice chat there, boys. Thanks for bringing me up, Dave.
2 seconds, mate. You're a little bit quiet. Can you make your mic go a bit louder?
Yeah, give me a second.
I think he's getting further away. Is he falling into a black hole? I think he's gone. I think he fell beyond the event horizon.
Oh, we got him. Here we go.
There he is.
What about that, Dave? Is that any better?
That's perfect, mate.
Okay, sorry, gentlemen. Yeah, look, I just wanted to I totally agree with you guys with the gaming narrative. I'm seeing it in real time. I have a son who's 15, and he's obviously obsessed with Fortnite. And just the other night, sat me down to show me what he calls his OG skins, saying, "Dad, these things are worth so much. I could sell them for so much." And I got into a discussion with him, and as far as I know, there's no marketplace for them anyway. So he's sort of it's a perceived value between himself and other fellow gamers. I'd imagine maybe there is a black market where they've actually got a dollar amount for what these are worth. But I'm trying to explain to him the narrative around NFTs, and there is such a big use case. I mean, I think these skins, I'm trying to convince him that it's a waste of money every time he wants to buy one. But the flex that's involved with having some of these OG skins and the narrative that comes along with it has such a huge perceived value for him amongst him and his friends. So I think there are so many use cases for NFTs, but the gaming use case I think will usher in the biggest adoption to begin with, and that's what I'm seeing for now, anyway.
I think your
Yeah.
son's got a good financial head on him. I think honestly, I think a lot of games they don't even allow like real money transfers for for assets, right?
No, for the V-Bucks, like what he's saying is true. Like some of the skins are worth so much, but you have to just wholesale your entire account. And what to his point, I mean, I used to play Fortnite all the time. When COVID first happened, that's all I was doing was playing Fortnite because I had so much free time. But yeah, I have so many skins on there, and they're all OG. Like I had at the time from when I was playing until like I don't know, like the last year and a half or so, I pretty much had every single skin that they ever dropped. And so like my account is probably worth a lot, but I would have to sell my entire account. I couldn't just sell one skin. Like, hey, yeah, I'll sell that skin to you for like $500, or whatever. It's like I have to just sell the whole damn thing. It's like, so that's the thing that crypto is going to be able to do. You're just going to be able to sell. Okay, yeah, I got this cool weapon. Like Call of Duty dropped it last Christmas, and it's like the one of one. Like they'll never drop it again. And someone that likes the game, some advocate that wants the game, they'll pay for it, and then you can just sell that and make the money back that you had to pay for the game. Like the games are usually $60 to $100 or whatever. It's like, oh, I just made my game back by just being a participant in this economy. Like that's just going to be a thing, man. Like people literally play games. Sadly, some people play way too much, but they'll play, hours upon hours per day. It's like, well, technically they're kind of working for that company, right? It's like in a way you're working for Blizzard or you're working for Epic. So you're kind of a worker in a sense. So it's like and that's what crypto is. It's like we're all part of the economy. So yeah, it's gonna be cool to see it.
Go on, Native, please.
Yeah. Yeah, he did go on to tell me. I said, "Look, if it's worth so much, why don't you put it on the market, see what you can get for it?" And he explained exactly what you said. If he wants to sell it, he has to sell his own account, the whole account. So I'm assuming that's like almost an underground sort of black market type thing. But look, on another note, a bit off topic, I was wondering. See, I love collectibles, memorabilia, signed basketballs, and all that sort of thing. And I'm wondering, maybe in the future, if these two worlds of NFTs and even what Galactica are doing, like soulbound tokens and reputation, may overlap with memorabilia. Like, for example, is there something LeBron James may own as an NFT and with a reputation function, may be able to sign that? And I guess that'll come down to the marketplace and whether people have a perceived value on something like that. But I find that thinking quite interesting and wondering if something like that may evolve in the future.
Yeah, I love that idea because it reminds me of when we were talking a little bit earlier about account abstraction and like wallet security and the dangers of, if you lose your seed phrase, it's all gone. Like if we start moving towards passkeys are really becoming more, there's more awareness around the technical functionality of passkeys and having like physical hardware passkeys I'm imagining a scenario where, like, instead of going to get an autograph on a basketball or something, you meet someone like LeBron James, and he taps his phone next to your phone with your NFTs open, and now his NFT just signed yours in a secure cryptographic way that can't be spoofed. That, something like that could definitely move into, I could see that taking the limelight. That would be amazing functionality.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Like, say I was like this real renowned artist, right? And I'm like, I know LeBron, and I create this one of one like piece of art or something, or like 10 of them, right? And then I create it on chain. It's almost like sending a Word doc, right? Like you send like a PDF, and you could literally sign it on the computer. Imagine if he signs it, and then he has some sort of verifiable proof where he either just has a wallet that's like KYC, or he just comes out in the open with the video or something and says like this I'm dropping this release, 10 of them to help raise money for whatever, some sort of like charity or something, right? And then you mint this NFT, and like I would expect that value to substantially keep going up. It would be, to me, I don't want to say as significant as like a game worn jersey that he like won the NBA championship in or something, but you never know. Like someone might keep that as some sort of memorabilia. And I'm on the same line. Like I love collecting shit. Like I have shoes, like Michael Jordan shoes, that are from the the 90s still. Like I'm like a sneakerhead, but people like collecting stuff, and this space is no different. At least now your house won't be so, you won't be a hoarder. It's just going to be on your phone or on your computer or whatever. So I don't know.
Man, I think like on like the signing stuff, that's trivial. Like at least on Galactica, where there's identity and reputation, all that stuff, with zero knowledge proof, so you can privately sign things without actually having to give away any data. That's trivial stuff. So there's so much to come in the collectible space, native. That's going to be absolutely incredible. Something I'd just like to just do a quick reset, guys. Could you guys please just give us one more time a like and a retweet on the space? I'd really appreciate it. The guys up here are providing massive value for you. It's always good to just give your free time and just give a like and a retweet. Have a comment, please make it. And if you'd like to come up and speak, please request. I just want to put out one last question, I guess, to the panel. And that is, what do you think the future is for PFP NFT and those those collections, or anything of the PFP kind of nature on the NFTs? What do you think the future is there? I can throw this open to anyone, but maybe Trev.
Yeah, sure. I can get into that, and I'm sure Haas has a lot to say because I know he's got a metric shit ton of them, as do I. That being said, I'm not going to put one as my PFP, Haas, no matter what you say. In regards to like the market as a whole going forward, I think that we're already seeing a kind of a large scale decline of what they were, right? So people would just ape into it just because like it had a picture that they liked, or because they had the kind of the generic roadmap of like you get access to the DAO, you get access to X, Y, and Z, you get a comic book and some other BS stuff. I think people were already kind of tired of all that stuff. They were tired of they were tired with that stuff in the last cycle. So outside of that, we're kind of moving in the direction of like they have to be actual companies now, right? They're not just NFTs, they're not just crypto projects. They have to start functioning as companies. So I think we'll see them get a little bit more serious. But at the end of the day, it's just all the PFP stuff. A lot of it's kind of like social capital, right? It's you're in the cool kids club, or you're in this group that identifies with this specific set of beliefs, which is always going to be there. It's really going to be a question of like what's actually backing that profile picture or style of profile pictures, and can it be sustainable? Because sustainability and impact is something that a lot of these projects failed on. So
okay,
that's
so
kind of where my head's at.
I guess that means it's like either a personality cult or it's a viable business. So I guess like the best example of a viable business right now would be Pudgy Penguins. Would I be right there?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Pudgy Penguins, like they have memorabilia. You know, I could see that eventually becoming, you know, like a Pixar movie or something, like an actual movie too. So you have IP rights, right? Right? Like imagine there's a small collection that I'm a part of. It's called Bones by Jarritos, and it's the Mexican soda drink. They only came out with 777 of them, so it's really, you know, a small collection relatively compared to most. Like a lot of bigger ones tend to be like 10,000 mints. But as a holder, you know, I've already won things like gift cards and memorabilia and like cool stuff, and it's like, yeah, I think you're going to get more companies and actual businesses that are going to create, you know, some sort of reward program or just this exclusive, you know, exclusivity to owning them. And yeah, it is kind of like what Trev said. It's almost like the cool kids type thing. And I'm not gonna lie, like my one of my stupid goals was like, hey, and I don't advise anyone doing this because I don't buy NFTs to make money. I honestly, I think of that. I'm like, all right, I'm probably gonna lose all this. That's my mentality with it. But it's almost like I'm a collector, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go scrounge the cryptoverse for all the main chains that I believe will be around potentially in like a decade from now, and just buy an NFT that's kind of like the happening one right now, and just hope for the best. Like buy it and then just put it in my wallet and just forget about it. And then, you know, like some of them I'm more engaged than others in. Like the one I have now is the blue chip basically of Solana. It's called Mad Lads, and I just like it. I think it was a cool vibe, and the team built out literally a crypto exchange, and they have like I think the best wallet in crypto. It's called Backpack wallet, and I just bought it because of that. I'm like, all right, cool, you know. And I don't expect to make money on it, although like I got airdrops and things being holder. But it's almost like Trev said, it's almost like a membership. Really, it's just like you own it, and you may or may not get like airdrops or things because of you're in this exclusive group. And that's kind of the same way real life is too. I mean, people go and spend 10K for a freaking, you know, membership to a country club, and then at the end of the year the only difference is they got to renew it. Like with the NFT, you don't have to rebuy it again. It's like you own it for life, and whether that keeps going up in value is a different story, but you're in that club, you don't have to keep renewing your membership every year. So
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of those things where I guess the art itself just comes second to the community. So, Trigs, when are you going to get a PFP? When are you going to get an FT PFP?
That's a great question. Actually, for me, it really boils down to how it's earned, right? So, like the idea of buying an NFT to gain membership to this exclusive club just doesn't appeal to me personally. And I get why that's fun, and I celebrate that functionality for people who are really engaged in that. I mean, I've been a collector for most of my life. I was just looking back on my shelf behind me, and I've got all the original Ninja Turtles that I collected when I was a kid. You know, just like I've got boxes of stamps and baseball cards and all kinds of stuff. And I like intentionally moved away from that collector mindset because it's so addicting and I don't want to get sucked down that rabbit hole. So I'm like afraid to buy my first NFT because I know once I buy one, there's just gonna be like thousands and thousands and my life will disappear into it. But I really like the idea of NFTs, like the PFP NFT, for more of like the loyalty rewards. And so, like, yeah, maybe you buy your way in as a membership and you have that permanent life membership, but then there's more to it that can be earned. That's one of the things that I love about Galactica with the the reputation centric membership and how citizens can participate to earn new levels of membership. And I think that's going to be a huge unlock for these communities. I've seen interesting artists that have been doing interesting things with NFTs. To like one of them, I was talking to in a Twitter space a while ago. They were creating these realms. There's a music artist who's creating music, and he made these different realms that represent like different aspects of his personality that's represented in his music. And the more people, and he did the artwork as well for these NFTs. And so the more people minted into different realms, the more it influenced the style of music that he created. And it created this dynamic, interactive community engagement that actually was represented in the resulting music. And I think that was just an amazing way to use this like PFP membership kind of functionality to draw a community in and make them feel like they were actually a part of the production of what he was creating instead of just being passive consumers.
That sounds absolutely amazing. It really does. Okay then, guys. I think we need to do a bit of a roundup of what we learned today for the audience. So, what have we learned? We have learned that NFTs can be a multitude of different things. They are a technology. They're a framework that can be used for sovereign ownership, sovereign digital ownership of just about anything you can think of. Everything from a PFP monkey to an identity, to your entire identity on chain. Absolutely incredible stuff. The variance that you can get in these things. What else have we learned? We've learned that Cosmos. We've learned where Cosmos' agent came from. I was genuinely curious, and now I know. Now I know it's like a really cool Solana NFT. I need to check them out. We also learned that Trigs does not believe in NFT profile pictures, and that's completely fair. I don't have one either on my personal accounts. That's fair. And what we have learned mainly is that the biggest NFT narrative for the new cycle is going to be gaming, and I can't really argue with that. I think that the NFT gaming, or like metaverse experiences and the deepest possible integrations with identity and reputation and AI and just general ownership within these experiences, it's going to be absolutely transformative, and I'm here for it, and I can't wait. So I'd just like to thank everyone for coming to the show, guys, because I think it's a good time to wrap it up at this point. So I'd like to just ask the panel to say goodbye, give a final thought, whatever you want. We'll start with Trigs, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was great. It was really exciting to get to hear everybody's opinions on NFTs, because it's something that, like I said in the beginning, I just really haven't dug into that side of it. But it's so fascinating, the depths of possibilities, and the concept of non-fungible, the uniqueness of it. I think it really exemplifies the characteristics of blockchain that are exciting, and things that we need to explore to really discover the possibilities.
100%, mate. It's been absolutely fantastic for having you up on the speaker panel again, Trigs. Really appreciate you coming up. Trev, how you doing, dude? And do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think we've talked plenty, but it's been a great space. Good to see everybody here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. But I also dropped some links to a couple gaming projects in the comments.
I was just going to ask if you had any little CTAs or any alpha for us. Thanks.
Yeah, there's the Pirate Nation, and then also look into XPLA. Also a Cosmos chain.
Perfect. And my brother Hoss, what about you, man?
Yeah, I think Trigs is kind of smart, because it is really addicting once you get on that rabbit hole of purchasing an NFT. I used to be that guy that was like, oh, NFTs are so stupid, I'm never going to own one. And then it just became super addicting, where I legitimately won't look at anything, and I won't, anyone that posts anything about NFTs or whatever, I'll take time where I just take time off. Like, I'm putting myself in timeout, because it is, I won't get as much work done, and it's super, super addicting. So I totally understand where he's coming from with that. But like for Trev, I think you should at least get those like cool AI looking ones that like take your regular picture and kind of make it a little bit cartoonish, but you could still tell it's you. Like I think that would be a good medium ground for yourself. But on a serious note, it was a really good conversation. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation a lot. I think, NFTs are starting to flourish a little bit compared to what they used to be, just kind of like an idea, just like a JPEG, and they're starting to become more realistic and more utility. And it's going to be fascinating how like real world companies or banks or institutions are going to use NFTs in a sense as well, because it can unlock and do more things than just like, oh yeah, it's cool, it's a membership or whatever. So that's that. Really good conversation. Honored to always be here, listen, to all the people that came up, and grateful for anyone that listens. So take care, everyone.
Thank you for coming up, Hoss. Always appreciate you, dude. So yeah, I think the world is moving on chain. Like the world is becoming even more digital than it ever has been. NFTs basically provide the ownership aspect. They provide that ability to be unique in the digital space, and that is so incredibly valuable on so many levels. And they go far beyond PFP monkeys or PFP agents. But Cosmos is very special, so his agent is very cool. I like it. I just want to answer one question from Nico on our AMA section, just as a matter of course. Will there be a physical version of the Galactica passport with all these beautiful arts of Galactica and connections with a future app? Yes, there will be a physical version of your passport available. What form that will take, I mean, I've already seen actually a physical version, which was beautifully bound. It is absolutely incredible. It's actually better quality than my national passport. But in any case, yes, there will be physical passports. So on that note, guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming to join us. Check the pinned tweet. You can join our Cypherstate campaign and earn your very own citizenship, along with all the benefits that come along with that, your universal basic income, validation, all that good stuff, and governance. You want to be part of the very first on-chain nation state. That's the way you do it. So join the Cypherstate campaign with the pin tweet above. This is a series of X Spaces, so you can join us again next Thursday, same time. I believe that is 21 hours UTC. And please don't forget to drop and like the post, the space on your way out. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers for coming, everyone. See you soon.